We are TATT. We are the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. Committed, innovative, professional. We thrive on integrity and seek service excellence in all that we do. TATT has been regulating Trinidad and Tobago's telecommunications service and broadcasting sectors since its inception in 2004. Since then, this country has experienced a tremendous expansion in its capacity to communicate, socialize, educate, and entertain as a consequence of significant growth in this industry. Let's take a journey back in time. In 2001, the Telecommunications Act 2001 established TATT as the first major converged independent regulatory agency in the region, regulating telecommunications, broadcasting, and resource management. 3 years later, TATT became operational after full promulgation of the Telecommunications Act 2001 as amended in 2004. On the 1st of July 2004, TATT officially opened its doors and became operational with a specific mandate to guide the sector's transformation from virtual monopoly, in which the telecommunications services of Trinidad and Tobago is the principal provider of telecommunications services, to a competitive environment, to monitor and regulate the sector so transformed, and in particular to prevent anti-competitive practices. An aggressive liberalization agenda was pursued, immediately focusing on simultaneous opening of key markets, adoption of an enabling framework for the authorization of the telecommunications and broadcasting networks and services, implementation of both a service technology neutrality and a transparent and non-discriminatory approach to regulation. This agenda formed the foundation for the years ahead. In 2005, the process for liberalizing the domestic mobile telecommunications market began. The process to engage additional mobile telephone providers included an online spectrum auction. That year, TATT also invited applications for public international telecommunications services in order to simultaneously liberalize the international market. Authorizations of new entrants in these markets were granted in December 2005. This was critical to increasing the country's bandwidth capacity and thus formed the basis for critical infrastructure development necessary to provide affordable high-speed internet access. On April 6, 2006, one of the additional mobile telephone providers commenced operations, and consumers in Trinidad and Tobago had the choice of selecting a preferred cellular mobile provider for the first time. Also in 2006, the telecommunications fee regulations were approved, giving TATT administrative authority to levy concession and license fees, thus becoming financially self-sufficient. In the following year, 2007, TATT procured an advanced automated spectrum management and monitoring system, which consisted of a fixed site, 2 mobile units, and spectrum management software. This system improved TATT's ability to effectively manage and monitor the country's spectrum resource. Also in 2007, the first broadband wireless access auction was held, with spectrum awarded for the provision of new services including wireless subscription TV. Additionally, TATT granted 2 broadcasting concessions to CNC3 and Synergy TV, increasing consumers' viewing options. In 2008, Columbus Communications Flow went digital and was granted concessions to provide both voice and fixed broadband internet services, giving consumers greater choice in these service areas. TATT relocated to a modern state-of-the-art facility in 2008 in anticipation of increased human capacity from a proposed revised organizational structure required to regulate an industry experiencing significant growth and development. In 2009, TATT conducted the second BWA auction. This effected increased access to services as spectrum was assigned for the provision of wireless broadband services using WiMAX technology. A broadcast monitoring system was also commissioned in this year, empowering TATT further by allowing the monitoring and recording of broadcasts on free-to-air television and radio as well as pay television. In 2009, TATT also launched its Cybersecurity Awareness Project as a World Telecommunications and Information Society Day initiative. Material created since then, including audio and print material, have been used to educate the public about the dangers in cyberspace both locally and regionally. In 2010, TATT launched a new interactive website to bring its services closer to its stakeholders. The organization also took time to evaluate its impact on the telecommunications and broadcasting sector and review its progress in completing their objectives under the Act. This assessment was used to guide the organization's future operation. In 2011, TATT launched its toll-free consumer complaints line 800 TATT and held its first public consultation on consumer rights and obligations policy. TATT also launched an ICT for Rural Development project, awarding up to $30,000 worth of ICT equipment and services to non-governmental organizations to support projects that help to improve the lives of persons in rural communities. 2012 was a watershed year. The organization realigned its operations to meet the expanding and rapidly changing market and took on a long-term profile as mandated in the Telecommunications Act. An expanded organizational structure was approved and employees moved from contract to permanent employment. This resulted in enhanced job security for staff members. In that year, TATT also embarked on a recruitment drive to complete the pending vacancies that emerged from the revised organizational structure. 1 year later, TATT established a sub-office in Tobago. With its team now complete, TATT was equipped to propel further into the future. In the past decade, the use of telecommunications and broadcasting services enhanced the way we communicate, the way we do business, and the way we live our lives. Indeed, the sector has been transformed with increased access to services, improved technology, and increased usage. More persons are connected, more persons are using telecommunications and broadcasting services. In the area of mobile voice service, Trinidad and Tobago moved from 530,000 mobile phone subscriptions in 2004 to 1.9 million in 2013. In Internet, we moved from 55,000 in 2004 to 232,000 in 2013. In pay TV, we have moved from 103,000 in 2004 to 208,000 in 2013. TATT has made a difference. We have liberalized and have been effectively regulating the sectors. Hard work bore fruit. From improved network infrastructure, reduced cost of services, to the introduction of new services and increased uptake of these services. It's hard to believe that TATT has been regulating the sector for only 10 years. This is just the beginning. In the coming years, TATT intends to continue the journey with focus on 3 strategic imperatives. Sector transformation by strengthening TATT's leadership position within the region, particularly with respect to emerging areas of sector development. Advocacy by protecting, empowering, and engaging stakeholders. Strengthening institutional capacity by fostering an organizational environment that is governed by accountability, financial prudence, operational efficiency, and knowledge-driven behavior. Stakeholders in this industry can look forward to the implementation of an internet exchange point, number portability, enhanced mobile broadband services, and digital terrestrial television. Initiatives which would certainly result in positive growth within this sector and as a consequence contribute further to Trinidad and Tobago's socio-economic development. TATT is dedicated to making a positive contribution to the development of the sectors and dedicated to the attainment of an all-inclusive information society. TATT at 10, celebrating history, creating connections, and building value.